Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. Today we're returning to the topic of pendulums. Not the pendulums that you swing, but the pendulums we talk about in Transurfing, as this may be one of the most critical things you can understand right now in the present day in helping you to create your own reality. Few concepts are as intriguing and transformative as the notion of pendulums, as introduced by Vadim Zeland in his groundbreaking work, Reality Transurfing. In this episode, I seek to delve into the depths of this concept, offering you not just an understanding of pendulums, but also a practical way to navigate and utilize them for personal growth and the creation of your desired reality. At its core, the concept of a pendulum transcends the physical, encapsulating both material structures and energetic forces that bind individuals together. These pendulums are formed when groups of people unite under common goals or thoughts, creating an energy information structure that sways with the collective energy of its adherents. This phenomenon is not limited to human societies. It spans across nature and time, manifesting in various forms from animal herds to ancient religions. However, pendulums are more than just passive recipients of energy. They possess a dynamic and often domineering presence dictating the rhythms and directions of our lives. Understanding these structures is critical, for they can empower us or drain our energy depending on our awareness and interaction with them. Everything is a pendulum. Anytime two people have similar thought about something, it becomes a pendulum. So you have pendulums in your families, in your schools, your businesses, your corporations, your governments. All of them are different levels of pendulums. Some become destructive and some can empower you. This episode will explore how pendulums affect your reality, how awareness of them can enhance your energy, and how by understanding their nature you can align with or detach from them to create your best possible reality. We will also delve into the ancient concept of the egregor, drawing parallels and exploring how pendulums, when sufficiently powered, can gain a form of consciousness and exert significant influence. This episode is more than a theoretical exploration. It is a guide to recognizing and engaging with the invisible forces that shape your life. By mastering the concept of pendulums, you embark on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment, learning to navigate the currents of collective energy to forge your path and manifest your desired reality. As we embark on this journey, I invite you to open your mind to the possibilities that lie in understanding and mastering the pendulums that sway all around us. Let's begin with the transformative exploration into the energy dynamics of our world and discover how we can harness them for our ultimate beliefs. Let me illustrate with a simple anecdote. Imagine you're walking through a busy city street and you come across a group of people passionately engaged in a street performance. Without realizing, you find yourself drawn into the crowd, your emotions and reactions syncing up with those around you. This is a pendulum in action, a collective energy that you're unknowingly becoming a part of, influencing your behavior and state of mind, even if only temporarily. This everyday occurrence is a small-scale example of how pendulums can sway our actions and decisions, often without our conscious awareness. The concept of pendulums, a metaphorical representation of the energy information structures formed by collective human thought and action. A pendulum in its simplest definition is an energy force created and sustained by the thoughts and emotions of people united by a common goal, belief, or interest. This force transcends physical boundaries, creating a non-material but influential structure that sways and evolves with the collective energy of its adherents. The original pendulum concept, as Zeland presents it, is not rooted in traditional scientific or psychological theories, but emerges from a metaphysical understanding of energy and consciousness. It draws from the idea that thoughts and emotions are not just internal experiences, but also emit energetic vibrations that interact with the world around us. This perspective resonates with various ancient philosophies and modern quantum theories, suggesting that our collective consciousness can manifest tangible effects in the physical world. Pendulums exhibit a dual nature, material and energetic. On a material level, a pendulum can be seen in organizations, social movements, politics, or even physical structures like cities or monuments, which are manifestations of collective human efforts and intentions. Energetically, pendulums exist as a confluence of thoughts and emotions, a shared mental space where individual energies align, creating powerful, unified currents. Historically, pendulums have existed in various forms. Ancient religions and empires were pendulums, formed by the collective belief and actions of their followers. The Roman Empire, for instance, was not just a geopolitical entity, but also a pendulum, with its power sustained by the collective identity, pride, and ambition of its people. Similarly, religious movements like Christianity or Buddhism can be viewed as pendulums, united by shared beliefs, rituals, and the collective energy of faith. In the modern world, pendulums are ubiquitous. Political parties, corporations, social media platforms, and even cultural trends like fashion or music genres are examples of pendulums. These structures draw in individuals, aligning their thoughts and actions with the overarching goal or identity of the pendulum. For instance, a tech company like Apple is not just a producer of gadgets, but also a pendulum, sustained by the collective enthusiasm, loyalty, and creativity of its employees and customers. The influence of pendulums on individuals and societies is profound. They can dictate trends, shape public opinion, and even alter the course of history. However, they are also dependent on their adherents for energy. The more people feed a pendulum with their attention and emotional investment, the more powerful it becomes. Conversely, when a pendulum loses its followers, it weakens and can eventually dissipate, as seen in the case of obsolete technologies or abandoned ideologies. Understanding the mechanics of how pendulums gain and lose energy is crucial in comprehending their influence on our reality. A pendulum thrives on the energy emitted by its adherents, the individuals who consciously or unconsciously align their thoughts, emotions, and actions with the pendulum's frequency. This energy can be positive or negative, but what matters is the intensity and focus it is given. Pendulums gain energy through the attention and emotional investment of their adherents. For example, a political movement grows stronger as more individuals invest their passion, time, and actions into it, regardless of whether their emotions are positive, like hope, or negative. Similarly, a brand like Nike gains strength from the loyalty and enthusiasm of its customers, who not just buy its products, but also emotionally invest in its brand's identity. Also, Zeland identifies that just supporting a pendulum is not enough to get energy. The pendulum can gain energy through resistance. Both resistance and support can support the pendulum. So if you are actively opposed to a pendulum, speaking out against it, focusing your attention on how much you hate it, you are also giving the pendulum energy. Conversely, pendulums lose energy when they fail to engage their adherents, or when adherents consciously withdraw their attention or emotional investment. A pertinent example is a decline of a certain social movement or ideology, which loses momentum and influence as people begin to disengage, question, or lose interest. The fall of communism in Eastern Europe serves as a historical example where a powerful pendulum lost its energy as the collective belief and support of the people waned. The relationship between adherents and the strength of a pendulum is symbiotic. Adherents provide the energy that sustains the pendulum, while the pendulum in turn offers a sense of identity, purpose, or belonging simply to get the energy. You must understand this relationship can be manipulative, and often is, if the pendulum becomes overpowering, dictating the actions and thoughts of its adherents, often at the expense of their individuality and personal goals. This leads to the dark side of pendulums, the emergence of pendulum zombies. A pendulum zombie is metaphorically someone who has become so deeply enmeshed in the energy and influence of a particular pendulum that their own thoughts, desires, and actions seem to be entirely dictated by the collective will of that pendulum. The state of being can be likened to a loss of individual consciousness, where the person's identity is subsumed by the group identity, and their actions become automatic responses to the pendulum's dictates. We see it on social media all the time. I've just sat in the airport and watched people, and as I became aware of the power of pendulums, you see that people are not themselves anymore. They are being controlled entirely. You can tell by the way they dress, by what they say. This phenomenon occurs when the pendulum's influence becomes so pervasive that it starts to override personal will and critical thinking. Individuals in this state often cease to question or analyze the beliefs and behaviors promoted by the pendulum. They may act in ways that are detrimental to their own well-being or contrary to their personal values, driven by the collective momentum of the pendulum rather than their own conscious choices. The most tragic aspect of this scenario is the potential for individuals to lose their lives, metaphorically or literally, caught in the hook of the pendulum. This can manifest as a complete loss of personal identity and purpose, where life becomes a mechanical execution of the pendulum's will. In extreme cases, that can lead to physical harm or even death, especially in situations where the pendulum glorifies or incites hate or dangerous or self-destructive behaviors. January 6 is an example of what happens when a pendulum goes out of control. We saw it in Nazi Germany, in World War I, in the Vietnam War. There are continuous representations in history of pendulums becoming dangerous, manipulating its followers, and they become zombies, and all control is lost. And if I am here to teach you how to create your reality, you must come to grips with this powerful force that may be defining what you think. You may be thinking, oh, I'm creating my reality right now. But no, you're just thinking thoughts that are required by the pendulum to gain energy. And if you really analyze what you're desiring, what you're focusing on, oftentimes it has nothing to do with your own well-being. Each pendulum operates at a specific resonant frequency, a metaphorical rhythm to which its adherents must attune for the pendulum to sway properly. This concept can be likened to pushing a swing. To make it swing higher, one must push at just the right moment. In the case of pendulums, adherents must align their thoughts and actions with the pendulum's frequency for it to gain momentum. A practical example can be seen in corporate cultures where employees thrive when they align with the company's values and goals, thereby contributing to the company's growth. A notable study by Harvard Business Review analyzed the impact of corporate culture on employee behavior and company performance. This study highlighted how companies like Google have created strong pendulums through their corporate culture, aligning employees' goals and behaviors with their organization's vision. Employees drawn to Google's innovative and open work environment contribute not just their skills but also their belief in the company's ethos, thus reinforcing the pendulum's strength. The impact of social movements like the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s provides a historical perspective on pendulum's power. Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership galvanized a collective consciousness focused on equality and justice. This movement, as a pendulum, united diverse individuals under a common cause, influencing societal norms and legislation in the United States. Pendulums subtly influence societal trends, often unnoticed by the individuals within them. For instance, fashion trends can be seen as pendulums. A study in the Journal of Consumer Culture discussed how fashion trends create a collective mindset that influences individual choices, often bypassing rational decision-making. What starts as a designer's idea soon becomes a societal norm, with individuals aligning their choices to the trend without conscious awareness of the underlying influence. So if you wore flannel or parachute pants at some point in time, you've been influenced by that pendulum. While harmless, a clear example of the pendulum's power. On a personal level, pendulums shape your choices and beliefs, often without your explicit knowledge. A psychological study on social conformity by Osh in 1951 demonstrated how individuals often align their opinions and behaviors with a group to fit in, indicating the subtle power of a social pendulum. This phenomenon is prevalent in various aspects of life, from consumer choices to political opinions. In recent times, the rise of digital platforms like Twitter and TikTok can be seen as the creation of new pendulums. These platforms not only shape public opinion, but also create new social norms and behaviors. For instance, the Me Too movement, which gained momentum through social media, showcases how a digital pendulum can bring about significant societal change by uniting individual forces around a shared cause. The concept of egregors, though less known in mainstream discourse, bears a significant resemblance to the idea of pendulums in Vadim Zeland's reality Transurfing. Egregors, originating from the Hermetic and occult traditions, are thought forms or collective psychic entities created by a group's shared beliefs, desires, and intention. These entities, like pendulums, are nourished and sustained by energy of their adherents. The term egregor has its roots in the Greek word egregori, meaning watchers, which was used in mystical and esoteric teachings. The concept was extensively explored in the 20th century by writers and thinkers in the field of occultism. Mark Stavish, a notable contemporary authority on Western spiritual traditions, describes egregors as powerful psychic entities that influence the thoughts and actions of groups of people. Historically, egregors have been associated with mystical societies, religious groups, and even entire nations serving as guardians or influencing forces. While both pendulums and egregors arise from collective human energy, there are nuanced differences. Pendulums, as described by Zeland, are primarily energy information structures. Egregors, on the other hand, have a more mystical connotation, often perceived as having their own independent will and consciousness. What I am saying is that when a pendulum becomes powerful enough, they become an egregor, where they are consciously taking your energy, like a vampire. The concept of egregors raises profound questions about the consciousness and power of collective thought forms. Writers like Stavish argue that egregors, once formed, can become autonomous psychic entities that can positively or negatively influence individuals and groups that feed them. This autonomy is what sets egregors apart from just a standard normal pendulum. I have a friend, Sarah, who's a graphic designer. She had joined a large advertising firm known for its competitive and high-energy culture. She was drawn to the firm's prestige and creativity. However, over time, she began to feel pressure from what she said was a literal egregor, a conscious entity within the company, a collective entity fueled by ambition, competition, and a relentless pursuit of success. Her colleagues, once supportive, started to seem more like competitors. Sarah noticed that her values and work ethic began to shift. She was working longer hours, prioritizing work over personal well-being. The corporate egregor had subtly influenced her personal reality, altering her behavior, value, and even her perception of success. I have a friend who is a part of an online gaming community that claims that it has become not just a pendulum, but a conscious egregor. He had engaged with this community and he noticed a positive change at first, and then suddenly it became quite negative and significantly affected his own energy and his life. He lost all motivation for what he had done, and he claimed that he could actually feel and hear the power of the egregor within this community. Understand that the journey through the world of pendulums is not about just their influence, but also learning to align with those that can positively impact your own life. At the beginning of the teaching of pendulums, as I have heard from interviews and discussions from people at the very beginning of reality transurfing, people sort of escaped into their own house and were afraid to go out. They were afraid of every pendulum. You cannot exist in this world without pendulums. It is impossible. And by doing so, you lose all ability to interact with the outside world. Some pendulums can provide a positive energy on your life. So we must first identify pendulums that resonate with our personal values and aspirations. This requires a deep introspection to understand what truly motivates and inspires you. Once identified, you can consciously choose to engage with these pendulums, be they related to personal growth, professional development, or social causes. To draw energy and inspiration from pendulums, one effective technique is to immerse yourself in the collective energy of the group while maintaining always a clear sense of your personal intention. This could involve participating in community events, engaging in group meditations, or being part of professional networks. These groups of 8 are active pendulums that positively work towards enabling a more powerful reality for you. The key is to participate actively and mindfully, absorbing the positive energy of the group while contributing your own unique skills and perspectives. Visualization and affirmation practices can be powerful tools. By visualizing yourself as an active, positive contributor receiving positive energy from the pendulum, you can align more deeply with its energy. One of the most critical aspects in interacting with pendulums is balancing their influence with your personal goals and aspirations. It's essential to remain aware of your core values and not lose sight of your individuality. This balance can be achieved by regularly reflecting on your actions and motivations, ensuring they align with your personal truth and not just the collective will of the pendulum. By consciously engaging with pendulums that resonate with your values and aspirations, you can harness their collective energy to fuel your personal growth and achieve aspirations, all while maintaining your own unique identity and purpose. The key to gaining energy from pendulum lies in our ability to ride these waves of collective inspiration without losing ourselves in them. It's about finding that sweet spot where our individual creativity meets the collective energy of the group. Think of it as a dance, where you are both participant and observer, fully engaged yet distinctly aware of your rhythm. To achieve this, you must become adept at navigating these waters, learning when to dive in and when to maintain your course. This requires a heightened sense of awareness, an ability to discern which pendulums align with your essence and which might pull you away from your true path. We've all met people that are highly spiritual, loving, incredible people, and they get caught up in some group, in some movement, and the next time you speak with them, it's like they're not the same person at all anymore. They believe in something completely opposite, and you're like, how can this person say and believe in the things that they're stating? So you have to be aware of this process. Engaging with the right pendulums can amplify your creative potential exponentially. It's like plugging into a vast network of ideas, inspiration, and energy. This connection can fuel your imagination, spur innovation, and propel you into realms of thought and creativity you might never have reached alone. But how do you tap into this reservoir of collective energy? It begins with curiosity and openness. By remaining open to new experiences and ideas, you position yourself to receive the wealth of inspiration that pendulums offer. It's about letting go of rigid perceptions and allowing yourself to be carried by the currents of collective creativity. To truly harness the power of pendulums, you must learn to synchronize with their rhythm. This doesn't mean losing your individuality. Rather, it's about finding harmony with your personal frequency and the resonant frequency of the pendulum. It's an intricate dance of give and take, where you contribute your energy and ideas while drawing from the collective pool. This synchronization can be achieved through practices like meditation, focused intention, and conscious participation in group activities that resonate with your personal values. By doing so, you align yourself with the pendulums that can best amplify your energy and help you soar towards your aspirations. These energy information structures are omnipresent, influencing your decisions, behaviors, and even your emotions. Recognizing their presence is the first step in navigating the world of pendulums effectively. For instance, consider the daily ritual of reading the news. The media can be seen as a powerful pendulum, swaying public opinion and emotions. Also, the anti-media is a pendulum as well. So when a particular news story becomes a topic of widespread discussion, it gains momentum, fueled by the collective attention and emotional reactions of its audience. Similarly, the corporate world, with its distinct cultures and values, forms pendulums that influence employee behavior and mindset. A company's mission and practices can create an energy field that employees tap into, shaping their work ethic and attitudes. Developing awareness and discernment in our interactions with pendulums is critical for maintaining our autonomy and making choices that align with our true self. Awareness begins with observation. Take a step back and examine how different pendulums influence your thoughts and actions. For example, in social situations, peer groups can form pendulums. Their collective opinions and behaviors can subtly influence your individual choices, from fashion preferences to political views. To cultivate discernment, it's important to practice critical thinking and self-reflection. When faced with a strong influence or decision, ask yourself, does this align with my values and goals? Am I acting out of my own free will or being swayed by the energy of a pendulum? For instance, when making a career choice, it's beneficial to consider whether the decision is driven by personal passion or interest or by societal expectations and norms. Another key aspect of developing discernment is learning to recognize emotional triggers. Pendulums often exert their influence through emotional reactions. By identifying what triggers us, be it a news story, a social media post, or a workplace interaction, you can begin to understand how different pendulums are affecting you. They love to use fear as a way of taking your energy. This understanding allows you to respond rather than react, making choices based on informed awareness rather than unconscious influence. While it's nearly impossible to completely avoid the influence of pendulums, you can learn to engage with them on your own terms. This involves balancing your engagement with a sense of independence and self-preservation. It's about being a part of a group or movement while maintaining your unique identity and perspective. A practical approach to this is setting personal boundaries. Decide how much of your time, energy, and attention you're willing to give to a particular pendulum. For example, in a workplace setting, this might mean contributing to the company's goals while also setting aside time for your personal projects and interests that fulfill you. Consider the pendulum in your professional life. Industries and market trends often dictate the direction of your career. By understanding these forces, you can position yourself in a place where your growth is accelerated, aligning with pendulums that resonate with your aspirations and strength. It's about riding the wave, not being swept away by it. While some pendulums can be sources of inspiration and growth, others can drain your energy and detract from your path. Detaching from such pendulums is a critical skill in creating your best reality. This detachment begins with awareness, recognizing which pendulums are misaligned with your values and aspirations. The process of detachment is not about conflict or resistance, but about gently disengaging and redirecting your focus and energy. Not resisting it, not vocally saying how much you hate the pendulum. It involves consciously choosing where to invest your attention. For instance, if social media becomes a source of negativity, reducing engagement and focusing on more uplifting activities can help detach from a harmful pendulum. Just as you can detach from harmful pendulums, you also have the power to create and nurture beneficial ones. You can create your own pendulums, and there are some people that are very good at this. It involves bringing together like-minded individuals and fostering a collective focus on positive goals and outcomes. That is how I view the reality revolution, a positive and beneficial pendulum whose energy is freely available. These pendulums can be centered around personal interests, community service, or professional objectives. Building a beneficial pendulum starts with a clear vision and intention. What do you wish to create or achieve? What values do you want this pendulum to embody? From there, it's about drawing in others who share your vision and passion. This can be achieved through community gatherings, online events, online forums, collaborative projects. Nurturing these pendulums requires consistent effort, positive energy. It's about creating a space where everyone's contributions are valued and where the collective energy is directed towards a common goal. Celebrating small victories and milestones can keep the pendulum's momentum and ensure its continued growth and positive influence. Imagine the process of engaging with the pendulum as a form of personal alchemy, where the raw materials of collective energy are transformed into the gold of your desired reality. This transformative energy requires you to both be the artist and the scientist, understanding the intricate dynamics of pendulums and creatively applying this knowledge for your personal evolution and reality creation. The key to using pendulums for your own growth lies in recognizing that you're not a mere bystander. You are an active participant capable of directing these forces to sculpt the contour of your life. When you align with pendulums that resonate with your deepest passions and values, you amplify your potential, accelerating your journey towards your goals. For instance, consider the entrepreneur who taps into the startup's ecosystem dynamic energy by aligning with this pendulum. They gain access to a wealth of resources, knowledge, and inspiration, fueling their entrepreneurial journey. The entrepreneur is not just riding a wave, they are harnessing its power and propelling their vision forward. Detaching from harmful pendulums is akin to freeing yourself from invisible threads that bind you to energies that no longer serve your purpose. This act of liberation is not about forceful separation, but a conscious choice to disengage and redirect your energy toward what truly resonates with you. Detachment begins with heightened awareness. It's about recognizing when a pendulum influence is leading you away from your path. Is the pendulum telling you to hate? Is the pendulum telling you to be fearful? Ask those questions. Once this awareness is achieved, the next step is a gentle but firm redirection of your focus. It's like changing the channel on a radio, moving away from stations that broadcast noise and tuning into frequencies that play your soul's music. Create your best reality with pendulums as a dynamic dance. It requires you to be agile, adaptable, and attuned to the rhythm of your environment. It's about knowing when to step forward into an embrace with a beneficial pendulum and when to gracefully step back from one that seeks to lead you astray. It's not a solo performance, it's a dance. It's a collaborative art where you engage with others, learn from their movements, and contribute to the collective rhythm. It's about creating a harmony where your individual moves resonate with the group's energy, resulting in a beautiful symphony of collective creation and personal realization. As you look towards the future, the evolution of pendulums and their interplay with human consciousness presents a fascinating realm of possibilities. You can speculate that as our collective awareness grows, so too will the nature and impact of these pendulums. They might evolve from being mere reflections of our collective energy to becoming conscious entities like egregors, capable of more direct and intentional influence on our lives. The social memory complex, as discussed in the raw material, is a concept that refers to a group of entities or souls that have evolved to such a degree that they share a collective consciousness or memory. This complex represents a unified, harmonious group where individual identities are blended into a collective awareness. It's a concept deeply rooted in spiritual and metaphysical perspectives, focused on the evolution of consciousness and unity. This, to me, is the ultimate evolution of a positive pendulum. I see a future where understanding pendulums is a fundamental aspect of human knowledge, where educational systems and governance models and social structures are built around the principles of energy and consciousness dynamics. People who are aware of the pendulums they contribute to and engage with them more consciously, choosing to fuel those that align with the greater good. In this future vision, humanity could harness the power of pendulums to address global challenges. Collective thought and action could be directed towards creating pendulums focused on peace, innovation, and global well-being. This could lead to a more harmonious and collaborative world where collective energies are channeled towards constructive and beneficial outcomes. As we stand at the crossroads of history, looking towards a future shaped by our collective will, let us be mindful of the pendulums and egregors that sway around us. Let us choose wisely the entities we feed with our energy and intention. And in this choice, let us find the balance between self and society, between the individual flame of our spirit and the shared fire of our collective soul. For in this balance lies the harmony of existence, the symphony of human experience. As Friedrich Nietzsche once said, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. So let's do a short meditation to escape dangerous pendulums and align with positive ones. So for a moment, close your eyes gently. With each breath, let go of any tension or stress. Feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation. Imagine a gentle wave of calmness flowing from the top of your head down to your toes, relaxing every muscle. Now visualize yourself walking down a beautiful, serene path. With each step, you feel more relaxed and at peace. The sounds of nature around you are soothing. The ground beneath your feet supports your every step. As you walk, you come across a dense fog ahead. This fog represents the negative pendulums in your life, the energies and influences that you wish to release. Acknowledge their presence, but know that you have the power to walk through them. Slowly step into the fog. Feel its cool mist around you. As you walk forward, visualize the fog dissolving, representing your release from these negative pendulums. With each step, you feel lighter and more liberated. Emerging from the fog, you find yourself in a field bathed in sunlight. Here, imagine calling back your energy. Visualize strands of light flowing back to you from all directions. These strands are your energy returning to you, leaving the negative pendulums behind. Feel your energy being restored, filling you with strength and clarity. Now, in the distance, you see a radiant, glowing orb. This orb represents positive pendulums that align with your highest good. Begin walking towards it. With each step, feel a sense of alignment with positivity, growth, and purpose. Reach out and touch the orb. As you do, you feel its warm, positive energy merging with yours. This energy brings inspiration, joy, and peace, aligning you with pendulums that uplift and support you. Take a deep breath, absorbing this positive energy. Hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly, releasing any last bits of tension. In this state of deep relaxation, say these affirmations with me. I am in control of my energy and alignment. I attract positive influences and release those that no longer serve me. I am empowered, clear-minded, and at peace. I possess strength and wisdom to detach from negative influences and align with positive energies that enhance my life. I am in control of my thoughts and actions. I choose to engage with forces that uplift and empower me. Every day, I grow more aware of the energies around me, and I consciously choose those that foster peace, growth, and positivity in my life. I am not defined by the crowds or trends around me. My path is guided by my own unique light and purpose. I have the power to break free from harmful cycles and surround myself with constructive and loving energies. My mind and heart are clear. I easily recognize which influences serve my highest good and which do not. I am an individual with my own will and direction. I am not swayed by negative collective forces. I embrace positive connections that encourage my growth, creativity, and joy. With each breath, I release the hold of destructive pendulums and welcome in harmony and personal empowerment. I am deserving of a life filled with positive influences, and I consciously seek out energies that align with my true self. In the chaos of the world, where pendulums swing, invisible threads to our souls they cling, whispers of many a collective song, in their rhythmic sway, we are carried along. Oh, the pendulum swings in the vast sky of fate, uniting our hearts both in love and in hate. Like moths to the flame, in trance we are drawn, in the whirl of their dance, from dusk until dawn. Each swing a story of laughter and tears, of hopes and of fears, of seconds and years. In their magnetic pole our spirits entwine. In the orbit of destiny, your path and mine. But listen, my heart, to the wisdom of the sky. Not all that beckons us is meant to comply, for in the cosmic dance where freedom is king, our souls like birds are meant to take wing. Let us not be bound by the pendulum's chain. In its hypnotic rhythm, let us not remain. For beyond the swing lies a world so vast, in the garden of truth, where love breathes its last. Seek the pendulum that sings to your soul, that makes your broken heart once again whole. In its celestial rhythm, find your own beat, in the harmony of existence, so profound, so sweet. So dance, my friend, with the pendulums of time. In their symphony, find your rhythm and rhyme. But remember in their embrace to be ever so wise, for true freedom lies in our own heart's rise. You may find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.